Hi, my name is Matthijs Schoeneman, and today I'm going to try out something new. Today we'll be building Space Invaders in Axure. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Okay, first off we're gonna start with some basic materials. This looks kind of cool. Now, let's see. Just going to slice the image so we have some materials to work with. Gonna need something to shoot. And we're going to need an alien. There. Maybe we can have some more aliens. Some different types. There we go. Everything else we just throw away. Alright. Some cool looking aliens. Let's make the rest of the page black as well. So then it'll look like it all fits together. Oh, already looks kind of cool. Now, all we need to do is be able to make this into an actual game. First things first, we'd like to move this gunner, which is going to be the player. So when somebody's on the page and presses a key, we want this thing to move. Let's say key pressed is left. Then we're gonna have our guy move. Now I see we didn't name our guy. So let's say this is image player. Let's do this again. We're on the page inspector. Somebody's pressed a key and then we're going to do something. So in this case, we've added the condition. If a key is pressed and the key is left, we can just move our player. So that's our player. I'm gonna move him left by let's say 10 pixels for now. Okay, and we also want to be able to move to the right. I'm gonna copy this, paste it. Now you see we have an if and an else if. So this means if somebody presses left, we move him to the left. Otherwise we're going to check if it was not the left key. We're going to move something else. So let's say we edit this condition to be key to the right. Now I can just press the right key here, the right arrow key. And now we're going to move the player. Actually, 10 pixels moves him to the right. So we're going to have this other guy move 10 pixels to the left. Let's see how we're doing. I'm pressing the right key, and it moves to the right. Pressing the left key, and it moves to the left. So far, we're doing very good. All right. Now you may notice my screen is reasonably high. This may not be the same for everybody, so I'm going to have this guy move with the page so that if somebody has a high screen, it'll be on the bottom of the page, and if they have a low, less high screen, it'll also be on the bottom of the page. To do that, we need to make this into a dynamic panel. I name those guys din player. And actually, let's remove the shot from this guy because we're not shooting yet. And I'm gonna take this bullet and do something fun with it later. There's the bullet. And we're gonna have this guy be always be anchored to the bottom of the page. So we're gonna pin it to the browser, and we'll put it horizontally in the center and vertically to the bottom, and have some margin of, let's say, 20 pixels. Okay, now let's check what we have. As you can see, it's now on the bottom of the page, and if I resize the screen, it'll always be on the bottom, which is nice. Now, of course, left and right key don't do anything anymore because we're moving the image, which is now inside of a dynamic panel. So we're going to change this inspector for the page event. Key pressed left. We're not going to move some dynamic widget anymore. We're going to move the player. And again, we're going to move it -10. And we're going to do the same for moving it to the right. I'm going to move din player 10 pixels to the right again. And pressing the left key works, pressing the right key works. That's great. Only problem is if we resize the screen, let's move it all the way to the left. Now resize the screen. I was expecting it to go to the center again, but it doesn't. So actually, so far so good. So we have our player, we have our monsters, and we have a bullet. Now we need to be able to shoot the bullet. For this tutorial, I'm just going to make it, you can only fire one bullet at a time. Because yeah, that's just the way it is. Maybe later I'll make a game where you can fire multiple bullets at the same time. For now, it's just going to be the one bullet. Let's see how we do that. In the beginning, it can be hidden. And actually, I'm going to do a little trick. We're going to add an event here. We just need some random event, one that we won't be using a lot. And I usually use on-page context menu because it doesn't get triggered a lot. And what we're going to do here is we're going to continuously have the the bullet move upwards. So you can give the case a name. Maybe it's easy to see if somebody else opens this file and think, what the hell is this on context menu event doing here? Can give them some guidance to say this is moving the bullet. So what we're gonna do is first, let's say this is a bullet. This is an image and it is the bullet. And moving the bullet is on page context menu. We're going to have it move the bullet. Move bullet. And we're going to have it move upwards, which is a minus in the Y direction. And after it's been moved, here comes the real trick. We're going to trigger this event again. So on the page, we're going to say context menu again. And this makes the bullet move because it keeps repeating this action, keeps moving the bullet 10 pixels up. All we need to do is add a little bit of a pause in here. We can wait, let's say 200 milliseconds, and that way we can see the bullet move instead of it going at computer speeds, which is way too fast. So let's not make it hidden for now. Let's see how we're doing. And no bullet moving yet. That's because we haven't said to start this yet. So let's say we're gonna add another key press. So not just left or right, we're going to create another one. Just gonna copy and paste. Then we have most things already there. Just edit the condition. Now we need a nice button to fire a bullet with. And of course the space bar would be perfect. But the problem is the space bar in the browser has a different function as well. It scrolls the page up and down. So too bad we cannot use the space bar. What would be a good other page? Let's take the Z button. Now players can use the arrow keys with their right hand, and with their left hand press the Z button and fire a bullet. So if somebody presses the Z, what we're gonna do is actually move our bullet to the same location as the player. So we're going to say, let's find the player. This din player, and we want to move the bullet first to the same location as the player. So we're going to move it to the player's X position, and also move the bullet to the player's Y position. We can access variables of this widget. We can access all the variables that you actually see in this list. So here we have widget. We can add a X, Y, width, height, scroll position, name, rotation, anything you like. And in this case, we're just going to access the position, which is X and Y. So first things first, we move the bullet. And now all we need to do is say that we want to be moving the bullet. So we're going to fire an event on the page. And this event is going to be our onContext menu, which, if you remember, if we look at the page, is moving the bullet. So let's see how this goes. We have our player. I'm going to press the left and the right key, which moves our player, and I'm going to press the Z button, which fires our bullet. We are definitely getting somewhere. Let's move the player a bit further to the left. Fire the bullet again. As I said, we only have one bullet, so better be very careful with our bullets. And we can move the player around, fire bullets, and yeah, of course, we didn't program the bullet to kill anything yet. So we're going to have to do that next. But we're already getting to quite the game. Let's put the bullet off screen for now, because yeah, we don't need our bullet to be shown in the beginning. Might confuse the players. So we've put it hidden. All we need to do is when somebody does fire, we are going to show the bullet. So that was our pressing Z. Let's also clarify this for people who are going to work on this file later on. So this is the case as firing the bullet. All we need to do is show the bullet. Now, you may notice this will happen every time we are firing a bullet. It'll show the bullet again, and it'll fire this on-page context menu, which is not necessary because the bullet is already moving. It's just moving all the time. But there's no problem in that. So there we have it. Now the bullet is hidden in the beginning, and we're showing it once we're shooting. So now comes the next part. We need to have the bullet actually kill our monsters, our aliens. So what I want to do with this is when the bullet is moving over this guy, I want it to die. I want it to set it to hidden. So the way we're gonna do that is to first convert this to a dynamic panel. And actually, what we can do is to say that we want to see if the position of this is on top of this. So what we're gonna do is every time our bullet is moving, we're gonna check if it is on top of this thing. Let's call this din alien 1. And then we're gonna, when we're moving the bullet, we are going to check. So we're gonna actually add a case. And we're gonna add a condition. And as you can see, there is an area of widget here. I'm gonna say the area of the bullet is over area of widget, and we're gonna check another widget, which is this alien figure. And if that is the case, we're gonna set the alien to hidden. Another cool trick is to hide unnamed here. Now, this is becoming a bit clearer to read. And we're going to preview it again. So what we've done is we've now going to check if our bullet that we can fire, if it will move on top of the alien. So let's see. Press our firing mechanism. I hope I targeted the alien correctly. And it's not gone, which is unexpected. So let's do some troubleshooting. There is a lot of moving going on, not a lot of killing. Let's go back. What happened? On page context menu is being triggered all the time, and it's moving the bullet. So far so good. It just never gets to this part. The hiding the alien, if the area is on top of it. Now, as you may see here, we have an if true and then an else if statement. So this means basically all the time do moving the bullet, and if you're not doing moving the bullet, then you do checking if the area of the bullet is on top of the alien, which of course is never going to happen because this is an if true. So what we're going to do is very simple, right click and toggle the if else if, and let's see if that fixes it. So I'm going to move, reposition our player and fire the bullet again. Oh, I hope I'm targeting correctly. We can speed up our bullet if we like, but well, for now the tension that's building is also very exciting. Boom! We've killed our alien. So this is really good. Now, what if we want to do the other aliens? I'm going to add alien 2 and alien 3. And we're just going to copy and paste this thing. So we're going to copy it and paste. We're going to say if the area is over alien 2, which we didn't, which is here, alien 2, then we're going to hide alien 2. Okay. And if the area of the bullet is on top of alien 3, we're going to hide alien 3. So you can see they are all green right now, which is okay. You can create different colors for them later on. Let's see. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Firing bullet. I'm definitely gonna have to speed up the bullet for the next run. First, just double check that actually we can kill these aliens now. Yes, that's good. So we can kill 1, 2, and 3. You may notice that this will very quickly build up. If we're gonna have 20 aliens here, we're gonna have 20 of these cases. So we may do something smart with this in the future. But for now, this is actually going pretty well, I would say. We don't have a game yet because there's no threat. The aliens aren't moving and they cannot kill us. So we're gonna add a bit of threat. I'm going to have these guys grouped together, and this group will be the aliens. So it's a group, so I'm gonna add a G in front of it, and this will be aliens. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna move these aliens every time as well. So we already have something that gets triggered all the time, which is this on-page context menu. But so we're gonna add them in here, and because this is already moving the bullet, we're just gonna move the aliens as well. So instead of just saying move the bullet, we're going to be moving the bullet and aliens. So instead of just saying move bullet, we're also beginning to do move aliens. And these guys are going to go down. Let's, for now, give them 20 pixels every time. There we go. They're not moving yet. Uh-oh. This isn't right. They will start moving as soon as we fire our first bullet. So you can see already the game is becoming very intense. And I've lost. So we're gonna have to change the parameters of this game a bit. Let's go back into this game. We're gonna fix problem 1, which is that the aliens and the bullets, aliens are only moving when the first bullet is shot. When the page is loaded, we're gonna start the game immediately. So actually I'm gonna fire this event on the page, which was on context menu, which is basically our game loop. It'll loop every 200 milliseconds. And we're gonna have our bullet move a bit faster. I like the speed of the aliens that we're going, so that was -20. And we're gonna move our aliens a bit slower. We're gonna have those be at the same speed our bullet was moving in the beginning, which is 10 pixels. So already we're having a bit of a different dynamic. You see our aliens are moving down, and I can aim and fire. And I've won, which is incredible. This is not a complete game yet, but the basics are there. We can move our player, can kill some aliens, and we need to be able to have the player die as well. So we're going to add another on top of. We're going to say if this, or actually let's make it different. We're going to say if this group passes the player, then the player has lost already. Because I think it was in the old game as well, there was kind of like a defense strategy. So if the aliens have landed, then the player has lost. What we're going to do is inside our game loop, which is moving the bullets and aliens, and we're going to add another case. So we're going to say add a condition for a widget, say a value, and we're gonna have a value of the aliens. If the aliens Y location, which is their vertical location, if it's bigger than the Y of the player, then, well, the player lost. So let's see. I'm gonna add another variable here. This is the player. And the widget is the player. And of course we have to add it here as well. Player Y position. So there we go. If the alien's Y position is bigger than the player's Y position, the player lost. And we have to figure out a way to show people that the player has lost. And we didn't think about that yet. Maybe we're gonna add a little bit of a you lost text. So we're gonna have this be you lost. And let's make that text white. And to be a bit in the theme of this arcade style gaming, let's make it also look a bit more arcade like, the text. So we're gonna hide that. And again, as soon as these aliens have landed, the player has lost. So we're going to show, oh, we didn't give it a name. This is a text field, so we're going to give it the L for label. You lost. And again, we go back to our case here, and we're going to show the you lost text. And if you notice, this is in our game loop, our page context menu. And again, this is turned into an else if. So we're going to toggle this to an if as well. Otherwise, it would never happen, because the first case is always true. Now, let's see how we're doing. I'm not going to, well, actually, you can play the game. So I'm going to move our guy here. I'm going to fire my first bullet. Fire the second one, and I have lost because the aliens have reached my planet. So there you have it. Space Invaders in Axure. Almost done, because we're gonna need some other things. We're gonna need a high score, and of course we need to be able to win as well. So let's add those things right now. I'm gonna add a high score. I'm just gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna make this the score. I said high score, but I think I actually mean just the score. Align it to the right and it will be 0 points for now. And I think it would be nice to give the player some points every time the aliens move down a bit, because as long as you didn't lose, you're defending the planet, and it's always nice to see your points going up a bit. So let's say every time the aliens move down, every time the game moves forward a bit, player gets some points. We're going to set the text on the score, and the value is just going to be the current score plus 10. There we go. Let's try this out. Oh, that's not good. We're adding undefined. We cannot add numbers and text together. We're gonna need a little trick here. Because we know this is always going to be a number, we're just going to add a little bit of math to it. Math.ops just means it's the absolute, so it'll try to make something into a number, and if that number is below 0, it'll remove the minus sign and it'll be plus again. So my hope is it will transform the text inside the label into a number and then add 10 to it. And that should be possible to do. Instead of adding it to no, it becomes none. So that's not possible. We're gonna have to do this a bit differently. We're going to create a global variable, and we're going to call this variable score, and the default value is going to be 0. Now for sure we know it's a number, so we're going to do this differently. The score, we're going to set it to a variable score, and before we do that, we're first going to change the variable. We're going to set the variable score to be score plus 10. I hope that works, because I'm running out of ideas. Yeah, so you see our score is running up, which is cool. And we're going to make a high score in no time. All we need is to also add some points to the score when we kill something. I think that would make a lot of sense. So instead of just hiding the alien, we're also going to increase our score. So we're going to increase the variable score and of course you get a lot of points by 5,000. Okay, if we've shot alien 1, we're gonna get 5,000 points. We can just copy and paste this by Command C, Command V. And now we should be able to get some points. Yes! Loads of points! And I see actually we cannot lose this game anymore. What happened there? I was expecting to see the you lost because the group of aliens is still there, even though we've set everything to hidden in the group. So I was a bit surprised to not see the message "you lost" after, even though we did shoot all of the aliens. Yeah, apparently it just works. All right. What else do we need? We need to stop the points from increasing after the game is over. So what we're gonna do is, instead of saying if true, we're gonna add another variable that says playing game. And it's gonna be 1 in the beginning. And I'm gonna move the bullet and our aliens and increase score. But now we're gonna add a condition to that. Gonna add a condition if the variable playing game is 1, we will do this, and otherwise we'll stop. So we're gonna add a stop, and the stop is going to be if you've lost. We're gonna set the playing game variable to 0. And of course when you've won as well, which we haven't defined yet, what would be a good moment to win. For now we can just say let's do it after you've killed all of these 3 guys. Gonna add another variable, number of aliens, which is gonna be 3 in the beginning. And every time you shoot one, it goes down. Okay. And in our game loop, we're gonna add just one more case, which is going to be if the value of the number of aliens is 0, we're going to show again our "you lost," but we're going to set this text, instead of being "you lost," to be "you won." And we can add this score here as well. That would be nice. Oh, I'm gonna add the score here, which is this one. You won. So we've got a complete game. We can win, we can lose, and we can score lots of points. Let's try winning the game first. Actually, I won! Oh shit, we're still counting our score. So, when we win, so we're gonna have to stop that as well. Let's try first if we can lose the game as well. We lost. Okay. We're gonna have to add a if we win, which was this one. We're gonna have to set the play variable to 0 as well. Playing game, and we're no longer playing the game. I'm gonna set this to an if as well. There we go. So now we can also win the game. Let's name this case so others realize what this is as well, and next time we open the file we know what it is as well. Winning the game. And this was losing the game. And there you have it. A complete version of Space Invaders in Axure. It works. I think that's where we're gonna keep it for now. Of course, what I would like to add in the future is to have different kinds of aliens. Maybe even have aliens that you have to shoot twice before they disappear. I would like the aliens to move a bit more unpredictable, and for there to be multiple levels as well. Of course, if you have multiple levels and multiple aliens that you have to shoot multiple times, we're gonna need multiple bullets as well, so that's something to add. High scores would be nice, so you can play the game multiple times and get new scores every time. And of course some instructions, because well, the arrow keys are pretty self-explanatory, but the Z key for firing bullets is a bit strange. But all of that is for another time. I would like to conclude that when you're prototyping with Axure and you're going to need all of these cases and make something as complex as a game in Axure, then probably you're doing it wrong. I mean, prototyping is faking it and not actually building it, but it can be a lot of fun. So that's it for now. I hope you learned something and that this was valuable. If it was, please leave some comments. This is the first time I do this, so if you have any comments on the way I present this, the way I show this, or maybe things that I can improve, then I would love to hear it. Thank you for your feedback, and hopefully I'm gonna do this another time. See ya!